All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Tonight's all about our small business management certificate, and we're really excited to kind of share some of the information about this program that we offer at the Doermer School of Business at Purdue University, Fort Wayne. I'll start off kind of introducing myself just because I feel like it's kind of nice to know who you're talking to and who you're listening to. My name is Chaddy Braish. I'm the director of MBA programs at the Doermer School of Business at Purdue University, Fort Wayne. I'm a DSB alumnus myself, so I graduated in 2013 with a bachelor's of science in business economics, and then I re-enrolled and did my MBA in 2014, so I have a master's in business administration. I like to think of myself as a lifelong entrepreneur. I've owned businesses in Fort Wayne in the metro area for about 15 years now. I own residential real estate that I do rentals for. I consult for small businesses as they're starting up. I do a lot of small business business plan writing and some expansion help where businesses struggle to understand where they need to go next. And then I'm an educator. I've been teaching undergraduate business classes since 2016, and an advisor in the undergraduate business program, and now the graduate business program since 2019. So it's an honor to represent the program that I graduated from myself, and it's an even bigger honor to be here tonight in front of all of you. So thank you so much for joining me. So a lot of times I get asked, what's the value in doing any type of business program? But tonight we're talking specifically the certificate in small business management. And I think the number one reason that anyone does anything in education is to gain knowledge. These skills are not isolated to one type of business. They're not restricted to any specific industry. This certificate in small business management really covers a wide variety of very basic business topics that can be applied to a lot of different roles. I think one of the things that business is most keyed towards is critical thinking and problem solving. And when you're a business owner, let me tell you that problem solving is what we do. Day in and day out, that's something that everything kind of revolves around. And you really need those hard skills to lean on when you're running a business. A lot of soft skills develop as a result of the hard skills that you learn in a business program. And that kind of helps with the day-to-day operations of a business. So one of the biggest things that I carried away from my undergraduate degree was being able to really understand the output data. I never did the taxes for my businesses. I know better than to mess with the IRS. So I always had an accountant, a CPA that would help do all the actual paperwork side of things for me. But everything that I needed to compile to help that person was on me. So I needed to understand the materials that were coming out of my point of sale system. I needed to understand the reconciliations for time cards and things like that. And knowing enough about those topics not only gave me the confidence in leading my businesses, but it also helped me to catch mistakes and unfortunately thefts as well. So output data from business sources is just incredibly important and helpful as you start, as you continue and grow your businesses. And that kind of relates to the safety of the business as well. So theft can be a really big problem to the existence of a business. And so whenever you can catch it, or at least have an inkling that it's happening and be able to determine if it is or not, that's important. So that's kind of the numbers side of business that I think are extremely valuable. The certificate in business is geared towards anyone. So there's no prerequisites to it. You don't have to have a specific body of knowledge before you go into this program. It's supposed to be at your pace as well. So we have students that will do one class, in the fall, one class in the spring, maybe a summer class, and just kind of take it at their own pace. And then we have some students that are really aggressive. They really want to get that knowledge quickly, and they'll do it almost full time, take 3 or 4 classes at a time. So both options are available in this program, and we have a lot of flexibility. So many of these courses are available as choices, whether you do them online or in person. And in many of the semesters, they're offered in both. So both formats, that is. So it's really a convenient way to kind of gain some of that real knowledge for business acumen. So what are you going to take in this certificate program? I'm not biased at all because I've only taught 2 of these classes, but these are fantastic courses. They really do help create a foundational knowledge in business. Business 10,001 is the Principles of Business Administration. The kind of strategic learning objective of the course is to get you enough comfort with all of the topics in business, starting with economics, ending in financial statements, and building a business plan. And one of the key indicators that businesses fail is a result of not having a plan. Many organizations will grow kind of oblong, where they're not kind of evenly shaped because they just don't have the strategy in place to kind of guide them in their growth phase. So having a business plan is kind of like having the blueprints to a house. You kind of can't build the house without those blueprints. And the Principles of Business Administration course covers the strategy of building that plan piece by piece, then presenting your business topic. It's a unique course in the fact that it feels very rudimentary, but at the same time, it's very challenging for people because it has a lot of moving pieces to it. But that's the value in that challenge. You actually are applying your skills that you learn in the course immediately to a project. Foundations of Accounting is the next course in the list. This covers the very basics of financial accounting and managerial accounting. Financial accounting is kind of the external accounting for a business. So kind of like the output data that would come out to your tax reporting agencies. And then managerial accounting is kind of the internal accounting, how you account for your own inventory, how you charge costs to certain things in a service. But it's, again, very foundational knowledge, very helpful knowledge. I have an asterisk next to it because some of these courses can be replaced with other courses that would qualify in a Bachelor's of Science degree in business as well. So some students will elect to start in the certificate program and build into a Bachelor's of Science, which is totally what it's there for. So if that's your plan, when you work with your advisor to kind of get registered for these courses, you can actually structure that into your plan and take financial accounting as the primary course, which counts for both. And I think that's just an awesome value because you can kind of see if this is the right temperature water for you, and then move into the full program if that's your desired outcome. Econ 20,000 is the Fundamentals of Economics. Again, terribly biased because I have an economics degree, but econ is one of those topics that kind of challenges you to think a different way about how people make decisions. And economics is kind of a skill when it comes to forecasting. So a lot of people will say, what's the market going to do? Economists don't really, they do, but you can't really predict what the market's going to do, but you can kind of see indicators of what things are coming down the pipeline. So one thing that economists are always looking at are new housing starts, because that's known as a leading indicator for the economy. So anytime that we have an increase in the number of new houses being built, that's a sign of a good economy. And when we see that number start to dwindle, that's a sign that the economy is contracting a little bit. So right now, there's a lot of initial discussion about new housing starts starting to fall nationwide and what that means for the economy's health. These topics may sound like they wouldn't apply to a small business. However, the economics affects everything, and kind of having that fundamental knowledge of it really does help you with making decisions. fantastic example is this week, OPEC announced a cut in the amount of oil that's going to be produced by oil producing nations. That's an indicator that prices are going to go up on transport costs. So if your business focuses on either delivered goods or the delivery of goods, you're going to have some costs associated that are going to grow here in the next few weeks, and you have to prepare for that. But that's what economics teaches. It's kind of like the overarching structure of how the world economy works. And the instructors that teach it at our university are incredible. Then you get to choose a marketing course. There are two options: marketing for the small business, which counts for this certificate, or intro to marketing, which counts for the certificate as well, but it also counts towards a bachelor's of science degree. And these courses are kind of fundamental when it comes to owning a business, because marketing is just the language of business. It's how you portray your business and kind of how you promote it. And really, the structure of creating a marketing plan is just as important as creating a business plan, because how you kind of portray your business is key to its success. Depending on what kind of business you are either trying to own or grow into, either one has its strengths and weaknesses, and you can always discuss this with an advisor or myself. I'm always happy to talk to people about these courses. And then finally, you do a capstone course. The small business management capstone revolves around kind of a small business project, and the entrepreneurship course goes a little bit further. This one's one of our core classes in the management degree. So it has a lot of structure when it comes to, talking about what entrepreneurship is, how you can be an intrapreneur, which means an entrepreneur within an organization. So intrapreneurship is kind of the new buzzword when it comes to entrepreneurship now, where you can actually kind of start and develop ideas as a person working for a bigger organization. And a lot of companies reward that now, because they're constantly developing and trying to grow their market in some way. So why would you consider doing these classes at Purdue Fort Wayne? One thing that I'm incredibly proud of is that we are the area's only AACSB accredited school of business. And I'll cover AACSB in the next slide, but when you finish, you get a Purdue University certificate. And I think that is just a tremendous value right here in Northeast Indiana. You get incredibly nice small class sizes. All of our classes are taught by faculty members in the School of Business. So you don't have teaching assistants that are earning degrees teaching these classes. Most classes are taught by PhD faculty members or faculty members with master's degrees in their discipline. Great examples, the economics department. We have some incredible economists on our faculty, and let me tell you, it's just a true pleasure working with all of them. And they have such a strong commitment to teaching students. So I'm always really proud of their accomplishments. And many of our faculty actually do research with students, which is just an incredible thing to say as well. So you get that high quality instruction from them, leading the classroom, leading discussions, answering questions. Even our online classes are usually staffed by faculty members here in Fort Wayne. So if you do have questions, you can actually contact someone, set up an appointment with them, even sit down with them in many cases, or sit down via Zoom. We have a very affordable tuition structure and payment plans available as well. And the class schedules are usually very convenient because we have a wide variety of students taking these classes. So we have a structure that kind of is more flexible and allows you to take them during the day, during the evenings, or online. So I mentioned AACSB. It's kind of my favorite acronym now, just because I'm very proud of this accreditation. It's the highest level of business school accreditation, period. So it's an international recognition, and only 5% of business schools in the entire world achieve this level of accreditation. We're the only ones in Northeast Indiana, the only ones in Fort Wayne for sure. and it's industry preferred in many cases. So I have a really great friend who did her MBA with me, and I asked her why she chose this program, and she said, well, my employer wouldn't pay for this program if it weren't at an AACSB school, and Purdue Fort Wayne was AACSB accredited. And her boss was then doing a program at Notre Dame. So we're in the same kind of bucket in terms of accreditation as Notre Dame, Northwestern, University of Pennsylvania, and then internationally, places like HEC Paris, just a wonderful group of schools that earn this accreditation, and we're honored to be part of them. Basically, what this is a third party coming in and verifying what we say we're doing in terms of educational quality and improvement, so continuous improvement model. And actually, we're in our accreditation cycle right now, so we have 3 deans from schools of business across the country coming to visit us in February to read our report that is being written right now, which is about 85 pages, if you can believe it. And they're going to be verifying what we said is true, and they're going to be looking at our facilities and giving us advice. So we always appreciate the continuous improvement model in business. I always love to point out resources as a student, because a lot of times when you do a certificate program, you might not feel like you're an undergrad student, but you are. So you have all these wonderful resources. I always challenge even my master's students to be a student again and enjoy an event on campus at least once a semester, whether that's going to a basketball game, a baseball game, a volleyball game, or attending an omnibus lecture series event, or just kind of enjoying Welcome Week and getting some free food in the middle of the day. It's just a wonderful opportunity to be a part of a community again. And I always challenge people to do that always. We also have tutors available in most of these classes through the tutoring center. And we have a full writing center as well on our campus. So a lot of people are hesitant to start a writing project, and a business plan is a very significant writing project. So I always point them to the writing center. It's staffed by just a wonderful, incredible group of people that are there to help and kind of help you understand your assignment, get things in order mentally before you start writing, and then helping you connect with resources as you do your research. We also have a disability access center that helps with anyone that needs assistance with accommodations for these classes. They do a fantastic job, very private. You also get a Microsoft Office Suite license as a student, and it works on up to 5 devices. So if it's been a while since you've been a student, you don't have the software necessary, you'll get caught up pretty quickly. And we have a whole host of computer labs on our campus that are usually open quite late or 24 hours a day. So that helps as well with, my laptop broke and I need to finish something, we're there for you. The Humpke Library is kind of in the middle of campus. I have a picture of it just because it's where I spent a lot of time when I was a student, but it's a wonderful place to read. It's a wonderful place to study, meet with your group, use the computer lab. And there's so many resources in that building, as well as online on their website. It's amazing the level of statistics that you can drill down to, the amount of marketing knowledge about organizations that you can find there. And we have this amazing new business librarian. She's been with us for a little over a year now. And Alexis Morel, she's our liaison to the library in the School of Business. And she just knows all this stuff, and she helps us find everything. So this week I ran into her and I said, hey, I'm really interested in educational attainment in the state of Indiana, and I don't know where to look for that. Do you know where I can find it? And she said, I know a database, let me look it up and see what I can find. And an hour later, I'm in my office and I get an email from her and she said, oh, here's the Excel data sheet that you were looking for. And it had everything that I needed. And obviously that she went above and beyond. I only asked her to tell me where to look for it. But that's the kind of service that we expect, that we receive from such an awesome staff at the library. So that comes to students as well. Alexis is always willing to sit down with you and help you start your research journey. A lot of people haven't done research in a long time, and it can be a little daunting. So having those allies across campus in the writing center and the tutoring center and in the library, as well as your academic advisors, that's just a wonderful team to have on your side. I do get a question a lot about the tuition costs. Typically, when it's done part-time, you pay per credit hour. So I have a listing of all the credit hour costs based off of where you're located. At the end of the program, even if you only did 1 or 2 classes, you do get a Purdue University transcript. So these are Purdue credits. And in some cases, they do transfer to other programs depending on where you're going. So if you did want to grow into a different degree or something else that maybe isn't offered on our campus, typically these can also transfer as well. So one of my favorite things is to take pictures of the new Doermer School of Business building. And so I did, since I've been there now since October 2020, I've had a time to kind of collect a series of pictures throughout the seasons. So I have spring, summer, and fall, as well as winter here. But I have some contact information. We have our website. BizAdvisor@pfw.edu is the easiest way to kind of contact a business advisor and ask questions about this program, as well as kind of figure out the structure that you need to kind of move forward. And then we have our front office phone number there. To get started, you would just apply. It's a very simple application process, and our admissions team is ready to help with any questions that you might have. I see we have a few people on our call. If you'd like to leave your email addresses in the chat, we'd be happy to kind of contact you with some next steps. But I'm always happy to answer any questions that you have as well. If you want to chat, if you prefer to unmute, just let me know that you need to unmute, and I will let you do that. And if you prefer to leave your email address in a more private way, you can direct message me if you know how to do that in Zoom, or you can send it to BizAdvisor and just put my name in anywhere in the email so it comes to me. And that's my name right there. Very welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. Please let me know if you have any questions or if I can repeat anything that I covered. I went pretty quickly, so